We've got Estonia against Finland, and the map is Seychelles, which is one of our water maps. We have 15 maps in the pool. We obviously want to have categories. So you have the more standard land maps. You have the mix of water and land maps, or a hybrid map. You then have the maps that it's heavier on water, like this, and a few others. And then we also have the maps that incorporate the walls and are a bit closed. So Overtaken's a player who likes the aggression. He is really high APM, a fast, exciting player. And then Valas is a player who typically likes the game to be a bit slower. And this ended up being the neutral map for game number 1. Valas will have a closed map for one of his games. Overtaken will have kind of the open map, so it should be a fun set. But I did want to remind you guys how the draft works for this season compared to the previous seasons. And please tell me if you actually think this is interesting, because I've said it a couple times, and you guys are probably just chilling out and having a good day and enjoying, but it's quite specific, and I need to know if this is actually of interest. So basically, okay, hear me out. We got 15 maps, and the way the draft works is you have ban, and then you have pick, so they each get to pick their home map. And then in the past, you would just ban back and forth until there was one map remaining, and game number 1 would be the one map remaining. This time, it's the same thing, except you ban down until there's 3 maps remaining, and game number 1 is randomly selected from those 3. Does that make sense? So a lot of player control, a lot of player preparation, still lots of bans for the players. But it goes down to the final 3, and then 1 is randomly selected from that. Now, if that didn't make any sense to you, I'm going to be real. I don't know if I could do any better than I just did. So, yeah, I think the draft nerds will find that interesting. Some people are just going to be like, dude, thanks, but no thanks, and we can move on from it. So, dock in the middle for Overtaken. Keep in mind, you can always take the oysters if you wish. My map scripter did not run past the fact that there would be dolphins added to the map. This is a little bit awkward when I'm about to marry a marine biologist, but I guess the devs are also adding the ability to go whaling into the game, which I also brought up to her, and she was like, really? And I was like, yes. So, maybe we'll have whale nothing. They'll be whaling away in the near future. The dock on the front is for a player who typically likes the aggression. And the dock in the back is from the player who wants to soak up the aggression. So players will be scouting. You have a transport ship here, and they'll be looking for that. So sometimes players will go too early, though. So Overtaken missed that. And then Valas, you can't get the transport ship to the middle, but he scouted the outside, and he scouted the dock here. It's not that big of a problem for her, by the way. Obviously, with it being like an older game. A different time period, people, did whale and still do in some areas of the world. And it's, there's reasons for it, but I always think it's funny. I also remember when we first started dating, she kind of understood what I did, and then she was looking at the YouTube channel, and she saw Dolphin Nothing. Here we are. She's a marine biologist. She's wondering, what is this guy's channel? Here we are, everybody. Welcome to Dolphin Nothing. And they just constantly just eat all the dolphins. That was fun. But yeah, funny stuff. Valas did have a rough eco underneath his town center here. But he'll shift over to a mill on the shorefish. Could also go double mill. What happened here? Why can he not click up to feudal age? I feel like he's missing sheep or something. Maybe a couple sheep were stolen and I missed it. But this is not what you would typically have. I'm looking around. I'm not seeing anything, so clearly just mismanaged his eco a little bit, and he'll click up. I mean, the opponent is Persians. So you start with the extra food in the wood, which really helps your start. Well, Scout's just trading HP right now. If Overtaken gets to the hill, he would gain the advantage. And Overtaken gets the additional hit faster than Valas does. And Valas is trying to recover that, but now he has to fall back to his hill. So listen to this. Oh, there's a transport ship there from Overtaken, but Overtaken gets the kill. Dr. Colin in chat says, my wife knew I was a toxicologist. She didn't know I did all the drugs. Lol. All right. Well, you know, I have some problems. You have some problems. We all have different types of problems. Be careful out there. So now Valas doesn't have any real indicators or any real idea on what the approach is going to be from Overtaken. You can assume a little bit, but you just don't know. And also, Valas still doesn't have a barracks yet? Oh, he is going to sneak the docks up in the middle, though. Overtaken is going for scouts from home. Expanding onto the mills where there's the shorefish and the berries. So lots of opportunity to take the food there, too. And Overtaken didn't actually scout this. So he'll see the villagers on gold. He'll see the uptime. But he thinks his fish might be safe in the middle, guys. He's gone up to 7 fishing ships. This is really confident, and I think maybe a little bit of overkill because he doesn't know. So, yeah, his eco is looking good right now, but he could just lose 7 fishing ships immediately. He's not making any fire galleys. He just does not expect Valas to be there. He saw the early dock and assumes that there's no middle docks. But the barracks is late. Overtaken has to realize if the barracks is this late, this isn't Valas just being a noob and making mistakes. That's not going to happen here. There's a reason for that. I think he's really feeling good right now. I think he's happy with the aggression he's putting out. But just crazy to me that he has no clue. Valas will move in with 2 fires and hello fishing ships. This could be quite even here in a moment. And panic time there from Overtaken as he'll have to stabilize. He didn't end up killing any vills because of some excellent micro from Valas. Valas is making spearmen now. There's still potential for some damage, though, so that should be the first villager kill from Overtaken. But yeah, fishing ship's under pressure. His fire galley will be too late to save the first fishing ship. And blacksmith going up for him as well. So a lot to manage right now. And Valas is also docking down here, too. So Valas is clearly just playing the water way more. I think if Overtaken had the same opening and played like 3 scouts into immediate fires in the middle, you could have a much bigger lead right now. But he is dropping the dock, and he does find some villagers. There's always damage to be found. Another villager snipe. Beautiful job from Overtaken. Yes, Spola, I have not heard anything about that. I've not heard anything about that, no. You're not the first person to mention it. If he's got a challenge for me, just reach out. But that sounds really condescending. My uncle might be 300 elo, but he would be offended. Well, Unk is the most competitive 63-year-old I think I've ever met. I can't wait to record the next couple episodes because he's been going through some tough times. And so I think what Valas tends to do more than your average player is he just fully accepts on water maps, I'm going to have to use the market. So he doesn't actually balance out his food eco like an Arabia player might and add a lot of farms to naturally get the food. He's just like, nope, I'm already on gold for the ships. So let's just use the market, and then we can buy our way to Castle Age. Whereas Overtaken has added some farms. He's relied on having the mills up and everything. But this is a relatively even game. I mean, if Valas can just click up, it's still very close. He's essentially taken most of the fishing advantage away from Overtaken in the middle. He's still got the dock on the outside. He actually has his transport there, which his villagers sitting inside of right now. As long as he can click up, yeah, I think there are some advantages. There's still no outer docks at all from Overtaken, which you'd like to see eventually, but he's just focused on land right now. I feel like some type of archer switch from Overtaken could have been really deadly for Valas. I almost feel like Valas was expecting that because he made the one skirm there. Imagine if it was double archer range cav archer switch for Overtaken. But that is big investment, and there's so much distance between the players that sometimes players don't want to do that. As I say it, though, he's doing the double range right now. So, clearly having the same thought. Luckily, he's Persian, so his docks are insanely tanky, and he comes out of nowhere to fight back the water. And with the demo and 5 fires, he might be able to retake water here. Oh, that was a really good demo as well. It hit 2 ships. And Valas actually got overconfident here too. It started to add some fishing ships that now won't be able to work. Still has the scouts around. He did get the pikeman upgrade, which only the Armenians can do in feudal. A war galley upgrade for Overtaken to win the water. Still have some sneaky dock shenanigans for Valas on the outside. I feel like Valas using the outside water like this is super unique and needs to be checked by Overtaken. Overtaken's doing it, though. He's dropping the dock down here. So, yeah, with a couple random fires out here, he could always snipe the fish. Castle Age time is crazy for Overtaken. And now Cav Archers are going to be here as well. Yeah, Kettle Punch. I'm always pretty interested in watching the Olympics. But I don't know if I'll be able to really, like, watch too much of it. I'll probably just watch highlights, which is still fine with me. But of all the things in the Olympics, I'm excited to see the hockey. Because Winter Olympic hockey is always really special. And the last time that the U.S. and Canada played each other in a Nations event was some epic action. So, yeah, usually if I were to choose Olympics, I think Summer Olympics are usually a little bit better for me. But hockey is one of my favorite sports, so that should be fun. But TTL is most of the competition for me. There will be more than enough competition with TTL, so. Now, if the micro's not good enough, Pikeman could actually work here. There's a lot of things happening, so Overtaken's micro is just too good. But typically, if you're looking here, you're looking out here too. Maybe those 2 Cav Archers go down. But Overtaken, it's felt like he's had full control this whole game, and he's got to be asking himself, how do I not have this score lead right now? What's happening? Remember, though, he did lose his fishing ships. But Cav Archers just still feels like a really nice call. And Overtaken's micro is just so clean. Look at that. No mistakes whatsoever. The farms are going up at home. Triple archer range. Cav Archers are just streaming across the map. I really think the key for him is just killing the fishing ships for Valas on the outside. If he can do that too, it could be the game-ending blow. But as of now, there's 9 fishing ships for Valas. Still no Bodkin, still no Bloodline, still no Ballistics. There's a lot of things that you might want here if you're Overtaken. He loses 2 Cav Archers to the fire ship. Again, you're just distracted. There's so many things to look at, but he has a fire here. Just, oh, that's such a good find. This dock, guys, is such a crazy addition. Because he had to redock in the middle. He has to go for the Cav Archers. He has to think about town centers. You can tell Valas just can't keep up with the pace of the game. But he's holding on. And if you win water in the middle as Armenians, which he's pretty much done, Dramon's in the middle could be so good on this map. Oh, man, but the town center's been found. What's going on up here, Valas? There's too many groups of CA. There's the CA down here, and he doesn't see it. Yikes, dude. Well, that's bad. Before, everything was manageable. There, he took a risk. Again, I think there's just too many things to manage right now, which we're even seeing here for Overtaken. He's still losing the occasional Cav Archer, but he's just pressuring Valas constantly. And I've played a bunch of games against both these two. Overtaken especially just doesn't hesitate. He's always moving his army to the next area. If there's a bit of arrow fire from a church or even a town center, he still just is happy to dive in and get damage. The second town center is coming up now from him. Market as well to balance out his res. The main weakness for him really is that he doesn't have the water. And there's still some fishing ships for Valas on the outside. It's funny though, Valas is adding fishing ships in the middle now because he won the water. Still can't get to this town center though, with the Cav Archers patrolling around. Florio asks, do monks always show a line to target now? Or is it just a mod? It's not in-game. It's just Capture H. So in-game, you're not going to see that line. It's just the spec program that we use. Cav archers everywhere. Bloodlines would be a good upgrade. I actually would like to see a forward siege workshop. I feel like if you had your own siege here, even if you don't win the game with that, you're just holding this area. And it becomes so difficult for Valas to then expand because of the CA coming in this way and then in this area. And one mangonel right now, and those scorpions get flattened and you hold the position, right? But it might be too late. Valas is doing a good job at holding on, guys. The scorpions are here. He's bringing the vills back over. He still has the occasional monks. The cav archers have never had bloodlines, so they're taking some losses. Overtaken likes to send it like we said. He's bringing in everything he can. He is losing a lot of cav archers here. And I think in the end, Valas complete the town center. Eco KD's crazy, though. Overtaken has killed 29 eco and only lost 8. But he doesn't have fish. And he only has 2 town centers. He'll drop the 3rd town center now. Everywhere he goes, there's a random scorpion or a random monk. Or a town center, right? So this is getting tougher to use the CA. It's been such a fun game. So different in their styles. And as the game goes on longer, I really start to prefer the Armenians here. Just because of the presence of all that water. And what they can do on water. I'd like to see a pushback from Overtaken on the water. Fast fire ship. Early Imperial Age. Take the outside at least. If you have the outside, you can use cannon galleons yourself. Overtaken, still microing. Takes down a monk. Will take down the scorpion. More CA on the way. Would still love to see a siege workshop. But now it gets more difficult to complete it where you want. Okay, Valas isn't noticing because Valas is looking over here or somewhere else. This is crazy, man. I feel like a siege workshop here could be good even. Awkward, but you could maybe flatten some of these scorpions. What Valas would do is he'd get redemption on his monks and try and convert them. There's counterplay to it. But still, it could make life difficult for Valas. Chat, what are we thinking about Overtaken's eco upgrades? These are the eco upgrades of a man who's far too aggressive for his own good. That's what they are. We have the classic, like, Nikov eco upgrades. Hey, he thinks of it. There we go. That's good. As long as you don't forget, it's fine. You get bowsaw. You get horse collar. You get wheelbarrow. There is a spec delay, so I swear he's not listening. Overtaken, if you're listening, also get the second armor upgrade on your calf archers. Get Parthian tactics. He's just so busy right now. And there's Parthian tactics. Oh, crap. What's going on? Also put 9 villagers on stone. Huh? I'm kidding. He just did that, but... Now, these are all the things that he has to do. All the things he should be doing. He's playing the game right. Still no siege workshop, though. Which I would like to see, but maybe it's too slow for him. He's liking the mobility. This stock is still up with 100 HP, so maybe he could stream in some random fires. I still think this dock is going to be the key, but he's maybe just forgotten that he could always come down here. He just doesn't know that there's 6 or 7 fishing ships chilling there. At this point, though, it's less about the fishing ships and it's more about the farms. Because there's enough of an economy. And you do not want to lose any control over critical areas of the map. I don't know if I'm making this worse when I say this every time, but it is still wild to me that some people in Twitch chat, not all, will say 6-7. Because, like, I know how old my viewers are, and I just don't think that's our joke. Right? I know, I'm making it worse, right? Because now I'm the streamer, I'm like, don't do this, and then everyone's gonna do it, right? But I don't think that's our joke. Scorpions are doing damage. There's the siege workshop from Overtaken. If it gets denied, this could be an issue. He's basically sacrificing his CA just so the siege workshop completes. Oh, man. Even a knight would have been good here, but yikes. Okay, Siege Workshop completes. He's on the way to Imp. He is microing this back. Could it be worse? And, yeah, he'll take the Scorpions down. But it's a good... That's worth it. That's a good spot to have, man. That's a really good spot to have. He also tried to redock here. It feels unlikely he'll be able to do much. There's still lots of fire galleys around. But now the castle for Valas needs to come up in defense. The whole game, Valas has just been under pressure. The whole game. Can he stabilize? Can he get to the strong Armenian navy on the outside? And on the inside? Can he play Halp? Think about the army for Persians. If you play Halp, Persians can really struggle there. They do have a bit of counterplay to that. They can still play cav archers. They can still play hand cannons, but I do find Persians to be a little bit predictable in what they want to do in late game. And on a map with a lot of water against the Armenians, there's some danger. So I think that's why he's placing this castle. He doesn't want this to get to the uber late game. He knows he doesn't have the water control. And there's the castle. Castle will probably complete, but I mean, Valas could possibly deny this. If Valas takes the mangonel, he can deny it. Cav archers from Overtaken are going to be coming in. Weird siege workshop from Valas. Is that just to block the CA? That's kind of crazy. So he's blocking the cav archers from diving for his mangonel by placing the siege workshop. Wow. I would never do that. But it doesn't change anything. Overtaken still an imp. Overtaken will have the trebs right away. Overtaken will get chemistry, so he could add bombard cannons. That's something the Armenians can't do. There's the treb. There's just a random villager dropping outposts around, which I guess isn't bad. But Valas will struggle with the siege that's coming from Overtaken. That's something the Armenians struggle with. They would have the navy. They can go drawmans. They could do a lot from the shorelines. But their siege is one of the weakest points of their tech tree. They don't get siege ram. I feel like if they got siege ram, this civ would be really sick in late game with those champions. But they don't get siege ram. They don't get bombard cannon. Civs that lack both of those things usually have a tough late game. Or they have trebuchet bonuses. Like Britons, for example, they don't get siege ram. They don't get bombard cannons. They get treb bonuses. Japanese get treb bonuses. Those are the first two civs that came to mind that didn't have those things, but they have some bonuses to balance it out, right? You can make the drawmans right away, right when you hit imp. So I still think you should make them. And drawmans from the middle won't give you a lot of value right now. But drawmans from the outside could maybe. Still feels like Valas can repair for a while here. And let's not forget that there's also stone on these islands too. So if you have water control, you can take all the gold, all the stone. There's also the oysters on water. Like, if Overtaken doesn't break or overtake Valas right now, he has problems. Still doesn't produce any bombard cannons. He has to pull more villagers to repair. The player who's defending their own castle will always have more repair vills around because they're in their own eco. So definitely a defender's advantage there. Valas has so much stone. How does he have this much stone? Villager died over there. I mean, that castle's down. The next castle's still up, though. I think if you trade 1-for-1 with the castles and the other castle still stands, you're happy. Overtaken is hoping for Savar here to end the game. It's still surprising to me he never added a bombard cannon, but maybe it won't matter. Valas has to back up. This gives Overtaken a lot more time. The cav archers, they don't have a lot to stop them. So that's not bad. And Overtaken senses maybe that there's an opportunity to just end the game. He goes for the next castle. Valas needs some military, but his castle is his military right now. All right, he'll complete his castle again. The cav archers have to be pushed back, and it's the same cycle as before, but just repair your trebs. There's 3 cavalier for Overtaken. That's it. And he does not have the resources for Savar. He's running out of gold, guys. Like, he's big time running out of gold. Not having golds in the outside is going to be an issue. I think Valas can win this game. I think if he holds here, he wins the game. Genuinely. And he has Halb now, which he didn't have before. Halb and Skirm is fine. If Overtaken could go water and go fast fire on the outside, he could reclaim it. But it feels like he's so focused here. What a hold from Valas. The entire game has just been Overtaken attacking Valas. And Valas just refused to break. Eco KD, normal KD, all of that is there for Overtaken. Is it going to be enough? First Bombard Cannon appears. The Halbs are going to push. He's boxing out the Bombard Cannon so the Bombard Cannon can never get close to the Trebs. And anytime the Bombard Cannon moves in, he moves in. Oh man, the Trebs are so weak. Both players might lose Trebs to army here. One Treb goes down for Valas. Overtaken. He's going to lose a Treb, but this one here is getting repaired, but the other Treb hit. The other Treb hit. Can he get another hit? He gets it. He actually gets the hit. That's crazy. He did sacrifice a lot of Halbs, though. And that there's now more Bombard Cannons for Overtaken, who's still running out of gold, by the way. But he's taken down another Trev from Valas. Valas still needs a bit more here to push this back. And no! I hate it when that happens. The Bombard Cannon ran into the castle. Oh, this is crazy. Chat, pick a winner. Pick a winner. I think it's still really close. You can look at the pop. You can look at the resources. But it's a deceiving scenario because I do think that Overtaken's maybe got like 2k more gold. So if he wants the Savar upgrade, that's all of his remaining gold. Well, not 2k, but you know, it's close to his remaining golds. Did Valas transport Halbs over here? I don't know how these guys got here, but that's actually a really nice play. And good upgrades coming in for Valas. I don't think you're ever expecting to get halbrated in the back. Gray knowledge thinks that blue is going to win. All right. Well, again, I can't argue with it. But I'm looking at his gold situation. Okay, so he's taking the oysters now. So he's got 400 gold there. I guess he also has some golds here. There's about 400 there as well. But I don't think he has any inside of his base now except for that 200 gold. And this 100 gold. So that's bad. That's really bad. Any Bombard Cannon or Trebuchet loss is extremely painful. I would like to see him maybe focus more on the left, but this was walled earlier by Valas, so it's really tough for him to justify it. Valas is trying to sneak over here a little bit. And Overtaken's bringing some vills, so he will find some gold. The Silesian fleet's on the way for the Navy now. That's one of the reasons why the Sicilians, or sorry, not Sicilians, Sicilians, you know. That's why the Armenians are so strong on water. Nice find over here from Overtaken. But Halbs will be coming, and he still has to have full focus over here. Just amazing that Valas has been able to get some transports around to find that. I know it only looks like one villager, but I swear he did it again earlier because he's got so much stone. He has an unnatural amount of stone. Still, the Bombard Cannons are being patient for Overtaken. I think we might see the Savar click. I thought he was going to try to instantly go for Savar, and then he just stopped for a while. But now he's sorting out his gold problems by getting to the oysters. This should not be happening, though, right? Drammen should always shut that down, and it is. Realistically, there should be Drammens over here as well from Valas, but he's really busy right now. Ooh, yeah, chemistry's on the way for Valas, so he missed that earlier. I think the university was here. You also might want to get Ferreters, but again, under pressure. Can you focus on this when you're under pressure? Look at the amount on gold for Overtaken. He's running out of the oysters. Over here, he's getting denied from the oysters. And he is getting Savar. I feel like I should play some Linkin Park here. Only instead of I was trying to make a joke with, like, he's gone so far, but it doesn't even matter. Or he's tried so hard, it doesn't even matter. But he tried Savar, and it didn't even matter. Let's see. It might end up mattering. It's a really good unit. Over a minute now until the upgrade's in. I'm still questioning how much gold he's actually going to have, but I've been saying that for like 10 minutes, and he's still pumping out gold units. The trebuchets from Valas are positioned neatly, slightly behind the castle, so the bombard cannons can never get there without running into the castle range. He's so good at defending. This would be a crazy win. If he can win this game, it's going to be so frustrating and tilting for the opponent. Like, Overtaken's been aggressive the entire game. But the skirmisher upgrades are in now. The Halb upgrades are in. There's a lot of them. The castle's still being repaired. Finally, Valas is running out of stone. Savar upgrade's going to come in. But he's going to have 10 of them. Is 10 Savars enough to swing the fight, to change the game? Keep in mind, he will still get raided down here. There's two-handed swordsmen. That is 8 of the villagers on gold. 8 of the 24. He's still finding some random oysters. Valas is buying more stone. What a game, dude. This is crazy. Oh, but the bombard cannons can maybe hit the trebs. Oh, Valas notices. He notices. Oh, no. That's so bad for Valas. He does take 1 bombard cannon, but he loses 3 of his trebs. The other one has to back up. More and more stone into repairs. Guys, we've got a Draman. We've got a fire ship here. Like, Valas still has chances. He's realizing he needs to use the little navy he has to deny these areas. But he needs to clear this once. If he clears this once, it could be over. We only have 8 Savars for Overtaken, and he has to go light cav now. And he still only has 14 cav archers that just don't get bracer with Persians. I think it's too late to ever try and compete on water as well. Maybe there's some opportunities later, but as I say it, he's actually going to dock in the back. Crazy game. Crazy, crazy, crazy game. I would be so dead. So dead if I was Valas. He's never really had solid counters this game. But he is just somehow cooked up a decent enough economy, and he has given himself chances. Again, that treb is just positioned perfectly just to make it that much more difficult for Overtaken. But Overtaken's been so patient. Here again, backs up with the bombard cannon. I think these random swordsmen, these random halbs are really good thought from Valas. If he can continue to do that, Overtaken might miss it. 3k stone for Overtaken? Dude, I wasn't even looking there, guys. I mean, he can sell that then to make more army if he has to. I had no clue. I would maybe build 1 defensive castle in your base. You can't build them on the shorelines because the Dramans will take them down. Big fight. Will Savar matter in the end? I don't know. It's still countered by Halb. There's still a lot of units here from Valas. Valas is out of stone. He needs to take the trebs. He will sell and panic and buy at the same time the trebs are firing. The castle's on 6 HP. 1 treb remaining and the trebs should do it. Finally, the castle falls. My God. They both have lost some population, though. Overtaken's at 140 pop. That's not looking too good. He doesn't have any trash technologies. He's still got villagers here. He's actually running out of wood. Right? Like, look at where he's placing lumber camps, too. He needs to continue to push in. Valas, he's got the gold. He's got the wood. He's got trash units teched. I think you do have to sell some of that stone. Like, sell 1,000 of that stone if you're Overtaken. But it's tough. Like, any castle you place will just be Draman down if you don't have water control. So, yeah, he drops a castle here because he's sick of these ships. But that's just an easy Draman target. The Dramans will just be queued up and go right for that, and you can't do anything about it unless you have docks. He is going to try and redock there. He is also making some fires with fast fire ship over here. Okay, so I don't mind that, actually. That's really good. Maybe this castle's fine then. But as we say all of that, Valas is cooking up 70 military, and he has trebs ready to go for this castle. And that is not an army you can engage into if you're Overtaken. It's just not easily. I mean, you would need the bombard cannons and the castle fire to save the game for you. But Valas sees the bombard cannon. He snipes it. And yeah, Valas will get this gold. He's sinking in some pressure in that castle. The fires really need to come down this way from Overtaken. Like, this is where Valas has a lot of that stuff going on. Look at him transport, too. That's such a tough thing to do right now. Big raids from Overtaken, though. Big raids, big finds on villager kills on the farms. Still hoping to hold this castle. We know he has the stone to repair. But Valas doesn't want him to do that. So he's going underneath the castle with his army. A bit risky, but I love that. He still always had halbs to protect the trebs. And he's falling back with the skirms anyways. He will clear up the raids. They're still wondering where Overtaken's going to have gold. He's got 0 gold income. These fires maybe need to make it to the other side, but that feels like it's really difficult to think about. Guys, I think Valas is going to win this game. Just where he's been able to... The fact that he's been able to hold on to resources is crazy. The length of time he was even able to hold this position and keep those castles up. This could become a game where the water matters more than anything. And we see heavy demolition ship for Valas. That Persians cannot compete on water. They just can't. This is big, though. If he patrolled these, they may naturally take down the docks, and Valas might not notice. He might have patrolled them down here, so they might make it along the shoreline. Also, I see a transport ship for Overtaken, so maybe he can transport out to one of these islands. It's just a giant pain to have to do that, but you can do it. There's still stone and gold out there. It's probably more than we think. Yeah, there's still 8k stone and 17k gold in the map. Eventually, you might even need the trees out there. Those fires, like I said, are taking down the dock, so that's a good start. Look at how good Valas is at always having his siege protected. It's crazy, man. And he focuses down the CA there, too, and he always pulls halbs back. Look at that. So, my whole army would chase this, and then I would be like, oh, crap, and I'd have to get more halbs here, and they'd have a chance. Super well played. And there's Feriders now, too. So with Feriders, it gets even tougher, because the spearman line and... the infantry. I freaked out. I was like, what, spearman line? Sorry, so your champions basically get more HP. And also your warrior priest, which there's not many of. Valas has fires in the middle to keep things competitive. These fires have taken down that dock. The light cav are still running around. Remember when Overtaken had 3k stone, guys? Remember when we thought there was no way he was ever going to run out of stone? It's crazy. But he's down to 500 stone now, and I don't think he sold any of it. But he's... Oh, he runs out of gold to repair the cannon. Ooh, but that was actually a really nice fight. The castle's got 66 kills there. That castle's everything. This was a nice castle. He did build one down here to protect from the raids. But I'm just not seeing the amount of gold that Overtaken needs. He needs to keep this castle up, I feel. If this castle falls, I feel the next castle falls. The cav archers are just so weak at this stage of the game against the champions. And Valas has his trebs onto that castle. There's no army that can go in and snipe that too easily. There's raids from Valas in the back. The score is flipping. We do have towers from Valas to protect these little islands. Crazy game. Crazy scenario right now. What a game. But these are some nice raids on the farms. Trebs are still protected, and the castle will fall. And Valas is banking up gold. Armenians are just better late. They have the superior navy. Their champions are really tough to stop, and Persians do not have a lot of options. Time to load up Lincoln Park. Savar didn't matter. Savar didn't matter, man. You could just tell he was running out of res and needed like 40 of them with the trebs. The towers are not really doing all that much right now. Would like to see heated shot come in. Would like to see guard tower. I think he'll maybe do that because he just garrisoned this. We'll still take care of the fires, but he still has access to some of these oysters. He still is transporting to these islands too. That's crazy work, man. So well played. And these champions back here, It killed 20 villagers with the raid. And now this castle's going to fall as well. Overtaken probably just can't believe it. What a great game from Valas. I'm so impressed. Yes, sure. Like, his technology is better with his civ, blah, 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 blah. But he was behind in the initiative the entire game. And usually that, eventually you get broken. But he just held on. And, like, he lost the vills, but he always replaced them, and he always just hung around, as I like to say. Last chance for Overtaken now to push this back. He does have gunpowder now. So hand cannons is a great move against everything he's been up against. That's a good fight. There's really not many hand cannons. And making more than the 4 he has is going to be difficult. But that's a good fight. He also did find more stone. He started to transport out here too. Lots of these little islands you could get to. Ooh, this is nice. Okay, so he brought a hand cannon by mistake, but he does have stone and gold there. Okay. Well, I mean, that's like 1,200 golds. Here he's starting to add navy, which could push Valas off of the golds. He might not be noticed over here. You just never know. If Overtaking could get some raids in, maybe. I'm seeing a shift from Valas with his trebs over here now. Crazy game, though. I love this. Somebody recently in the YouTube comments on extras started to do this thing, and it's really getting to me. I don't know. Actually, I shouldn't tell chat. Never mind. I won't tell you, because chat 101 is if streamer says he's bothered by something, then it becomes a fun game to then immediately do that thing. So, yeah, on second thought, I don't want to know what I was saying. I have nothing to tell you guys. Trebuchets have shifted over this way. We've got fire ships inside of this dock to pay attention to. Still just think the army count for Valas is so high right now. He's got the superior navy. The champions are a really nice unit to have when the gold is low. He's pushing over here. Overtaken buys some res. He wants a castle up to protect this area. I don't mind that. For now, it feels like you need it. But eventually, you do need to somehow be competitive on water. Because if Dramans come in from the middle or over here, they can hit this castle. That's a nice castle, though. Castle might have saved him. If he can garrison his units in his castle real quick, save his military, that would be really strong. Castle's still being repaired over here. He needs some response. There's actually not a lot of army protecting the trebs there for Valas. Valas is villagers on these trees, too. Still just fire ships around. Lots of idols for Valas as well we need to pay attention to. But the trebs are still sinking in damage into that castle. The fires are not going to be enough to take down those trebs. Fires can be enough to take down the Draman and the war galleys, though. But we're starting to see more war galleys from Valas. So I think he might lean into like 20 to 30 pop in the middle, just because it does so much for you. Yeah, there's the galleon upgrade. And there's careening as well. So yeah, once he's got galleon, there's no response from Overtaken. Overtaken is inside that castle. But guys, I think Overtaken is running out of places to take resources. The gold and the stone is going dry yet again. Trees are always going to be an issue. Transporting is awkward, but he's trying it. So much fight from these two. This is ridiculous. One of the longest games this season has had. We've had some long ones. I think we had one or two longer than this. Is Overtaken holding this? He took down one treb. He took down another treb. What? I don't think he has murder holes. He doesn't have murder holes. He doesn't have murder holes. Get the champion. Get the champion. No! Oh my god. That's something my chat would never do. Some people watching would they go fast castle murder holes. Or they only play Teuton, so you don't have to research it. Damn, that's an expensive loss. Uh-oh. What is this? What is this, bro? Valas has brought champions to the party, and the transport has gone down. The fight's still happening over here. We got big raids happening back here. I think Overtaken's getting hit in too many different angles. Again, an amazing game from Valas. The entire game he was just soaking up this pressure, bending but not breaking. And now he's just got control everywhere he wants. Overtaken probably sitting there in disbelief right now. And you're kind of like, it's easy now to say, oh, why Persians? Why Persians? Why did I not pick another Civ? But, like, he was so far ahead the whole game, he just couldn't quite break him. Persians, I think, are a really good Civ for every other stage of the game. But if it gets to the super late game, if Valas gets to the super late game, good luck against him. That is a crazy win. Just a crazy win. Damn. I felt like he never really had momentum in this game. He would occasionally do these small things to get some poke damage, like a random Halb or a random fire ship. I think back to the very opening in Feudal Age, Overtaken really screwed up his opening because he went scouts and he just didn't think that Valas would be on water. He was overconfident there. And I think if he has a better Feudal Age, he has an even better Castle Age, and then maybe he's able to tip the scales and get a win. That was really bad, right? Remember, he added 4 fishing ships into 2 dock fire ships. But, I mean, even with that, he was still able to play very well. What a game. What a game. Yeah, the KD from Overtaken was solid. Economically, he was ahead in the right things for most of the game. Eventually, his units were just too expensive. Cav archers and knight units are really expensive, and halbs and skirms are not. Most of the gold that Valas spent this game was on siege and on navy, and then just on upgrading his units. So he definitely took the patient approach. You could just see how fast Overtaken is. He's one of the fastest players in the game. Just constant pressure, 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 pressure. And Valas is just like, nah, it's all good, dude. I'm just going to chill, thank you. And he takes the first game. What a win. Hopefully, we have just as crazy a game as we did in game number 1. Or, sorry, I meant to say ridiculous. We got Valas, who just defended so well in the first game. So well. It was crazy. Damn it. I really do say crazy too much. Anyways, he's coming forward with the Vietnamese to try and lame. And he's not going to get that lame. I don't think he found too much. He did find a pig. So finding a pig is nice. I don't hate this. Get the early scouting intel on where the gold is going to be as well. So you know the stones on the back. You know the gold will be scattered on the front. Oh, Nikov, this is so kind of you. Nikov says, let's spice this up. Every time you say either crazy or ridiculous, I will gift 5 subs to the stream. Smiley face. Wow. You know, Nikov, before this moment, I really wouldn't have expected that generosity from you. But I think that's a great idea. What do you think, chat? Every time I say crazy or ridiculous, Nikov has offered 5 gifted subs. That's sick. All right. I like that, Nikov. Thank you. Now, Nikov actually said I was supposed to gift the subs. So this is my retaliation. But before anyone says T90, that's too much to ask the players. We did add $30,000 to the Platinum prize pool this year. So we don't know exactly where Nikov's going to end up in Platinum. But I pay the invoices. We worked on the event. There's, you know, we could make a deal, Nikov. Yeah, anyways, I got to really focus on the game here. There is an early mill coming up here from Valas. And I like that. You have the option to mill both sides. And if you want to push deer, you can. But you just have 1 deer, or in this case, an ibex on either side. And Overtaken, Overtaken wants to lay him here. But it doesn't work out. He was lurking in the darkness there for a second. And once again, well played from Valas. He had to click pretty quickly there. Let's actually double check the APM here. That's crazy. Oh, no, damn it. I do say crazy a lot. What is wrong with me? This is the problem, guys. One person says it, and now I told you guys, and now it's in my head even more. I don't know if we need a crazy emote or what. But there's the barracks for Overtaken. And this is a drush timing here. With Hindustanis as well. You wouldn't typically see the early militia for the Hindustanis. I think now the decision is, do you go for a mill on the berries or do you walk out to the sides? Consider taking the hares, the deer, and the fish. There's about 1,000 food over there. Overtaken does see the villagers. And he's also letting his opponent know he sees this because he's attacking the mill. And I think Valas saw the barracks. So Valas knows the militia are on the way. So this will not be a surprise to him. And he's gonna get loom. Pretty good timing. If we were to have a crazy emote, what would the emote even be, chat? Any ideas? Speaking of emotes, thank you, Nuka Crypt. Thank you, Mr. Chunky. Thank you, Wafflecopter, for the resub. Means a lot. Oh, Ugly's here. Okay, she would make it. So you just want me to make a face? Okay. I mean, my camera's not on today. We wouldn't do it today. Maybe I'd make a crazy face. The guy's YouTube name, it's just a screenshot of the person who started this from YouTube Extras. I like that. But I don't want to be seen as if I'm picking on somebody. Even though I'm very clearly getting bullied by like 1,000 people simultaneously. I still feel like that would maybe be wrong. Unless I talk to them first. Well, we'll see. The drush is here. We got 3 militia. They haven't been able to kill anything yet, but it is rather awkward for Valas, and if he looks away for a second, he could lose 2 to 3 vills. Behind this, a very clean economy for Overtaken. Overtaken will click up to Feudal Age. Valas has already been on his way to Feudal Age. This might actually change his approach. The scout goes down there for Overtaken. He tried to save it. But yeah, Valas might play archers because he's up against infantry now, and that might not have been his initial plan. But the level's just so high that Overtaken's like, I'm going to attack you. No, I'm not. I'm going to attack you. No, I'm not. I'm going to attack you. And then Valas just stopped reacting, so now he's actually attacking. I'm going to attack you. No, I'm not. I'm going to attack you. Nope. I think I will. Nope. I think I will. And then Valas moves. I think I will. Nope. Like, Valas gives it no respect. It's kind of it's kind of crazy. I'm saying crazy. Today is the day of crazy. No other day. No other day. No other day. I'm going to somehow remove that from my vocabulary. I shouldn't have told chat. I'm really frustrated that I told you guys. I should have just moved past it. Well, I love the build. And these vills are still exposed. That weak villager does go home. But I really like this build order from Overtaken. I think this is a map where late game matters, but in a very different way than the previous one. Your land army can control the entire map here, unlike the previous game. So now Feudal Age is in. Man-at-Arms is on the way. Now these militia are kind of weak. So I'd like to see some patience here from Overtaken. Valas should understand there's a possibility the Man-at-Arm upgrade will come in. Overtaken taking the fight before. This is not what you want. I actually think it's worth canceling Man-at-Arms. 26 HP to 29 HP increase? Oh, man. They're so weak. It's now 17 HP Man-at-Arm rush. Amazing from Valas. It is really impressive how he's able to deal with any pressure. And now he's going forward with archers because he knows he doesn't really need to pay too close attention to this. Valas is locked in right now. Valas is locked in. He's playing great. Okay, maybe he's not so locked. He loses 1 vill, but still, I mean, what he's been able to accomplish is beautiful. I just don't know how good this scouting's going to end up being here, though. I think he's guessing that Overtaken is out here when Overtaken's not. And he's checking here, and he won't find Overtaken there either. But Overtaken's moving his skirms out, and so Overtaken is going to miss those archers initially. And maybe the archers end up in the back of his base near the wood line. But it's a nice, healthy vill lead for Overtaken because he hasn't had any idle TC, and maybe that's the concern for Valas. He does a good job microing to keep the villagers alive, but the eco falls apart behind it. A T90, maybe Hardy should bleep out crazy for the next extras video. I think Hardy would probably quit if I were if I were to make him do that. I think Hardy would just... Actually, he wouldn't quit. He would just say no. And I would be like, ah, yeah, respect. And then we would just move on to the next project, so. Yeah, archers are here. But good micro from Overtaken there. Little house. Sends the archers to the other side. Not bad at all. Brings his own army back. Doesn't have fletching yet, though. So with no fletching, maybe Valas can get some good value here. And Valas is Vietnamese. Wow, so double mill from Valas on the sides. And also the mill in the middle on the berries. Still think the idle TC is a little questionable here, though. And just a reminder that maybe he's just not that comfortable on this type of map. Very rare you'll ever see over a minute of idle TC time on this map. In the previous one, I could understand it. I still think there's chances for damage, though. I still think the Vietnamese have really nice bonuses to work with. These archers were never found. They're just going to run right back in. Just as Overtaken is running forward. I think he might have spotted this. But yeah, this should be a villager kill. Overtaken won't know either that Valas has a minute of idle TC. He doesn't have the capture H stats in front of him. Nice snipe. Bergwin, thank you. Thank you for the love. Got 3 mills. And taking the risks on the sides. And now another sneak army from Valas. And this is where things start to add up, right? If you can keep the bases open, you can easily equalize that villager count. Overtaken still hasn't been able to find these archers. And now he's got these archers to deal with as well. And, you know, his skirmishers are just... Oh, they're getting cleared up by the scouts. The skirms were just completely out of position. And just amazing play from Valas. And now the eco just feels incredibly unstable for Overtaken. Yes, he could maybe click up to Castle Age, but he's been so close for so long, and now he doesn't have a lot of army momentum. You shift more into full defense with your faster Castle Age than anything. Yeah, also, he has to spend resources on fletching to compete in these fights. I think he did see this archer army, though. So if he knows about that, could be a decent trade. Still no fletching. Still no fletching. Now he gets it. Now the scouts are coming in as well, though. And it's still only 3 archers, and these are 2 fresh scouts. So actually, still more problems for Overtaken. Might need to fight with the villagers. Oh, it's just so annoying. It's so messy. And now another group comes in from Valas. Who said he can't handle the pressure? Does he see it? He's microing over here right now, and he's winning the fight over here. And now his archers say, just passing, bro. Oh my god, this is crazy, dude. Just crazy. Love how Valas defended early. And now the army's just coming in from every angle. 5 villager kills now. Still Overtaken, hasn't clicked up to Castle Age. And now Castle Age might even be faster for Valas. Another archer pick off. Another archer pick off. Villagers are still weak over here. And this might be a much shorter game than we just saw. What a great job there from Valas. A lot of that, guys, is a good example of well, what Valas is as a player and how well he is at managing a game, but also why players are so disappointed if they ever lose their scout. Think about how this all started. This started with 2 archers down here that he didn't know about. Why didn't he know about it? Because all the way back at the mill, he lost his scout. Remember, that scout was weak. I'll actually show you the fight again. He tries to pull it back to save it in the last second. Yeah, right here. Yeah, there's some walls, and he tries to save it, and it goes down anyways. And that opened up a lot of opportunity for Valas. The faster feudal age from Valas, the archers moving forward, beautiful. And, yeah, like we said, I mean, it wasn't the cleanest feudal age ever, but he was able to find lots of good counterattacks there. I also think Overtaken skirms were just not where they needed to be. He was hoping the skirms would catch the archers in the middle of the map, but he just walked forward there with the skirms, and the skirms just died, and they were needed at home. If he just kept the skirms patrolling at home, he's probably fine. Sometimes Overtaken tries to do too much. That is his weakness as a player, and yeah, now he's down 2 games. I don't think this is that early a GG, chat. Because he has no real army here to stop this. He'll lose probably 2 to 3 more vills. He can't click up to Castle H. These are both of his wood lines. It's not like he's comfortably taking wood anywhere else. He's got 9 villagers idle inside the town center that his opponent doesn't have. So he's still going to lose more vills, and he has no army. If you're going to lose more vills and you have no army, you think about calling it. Had he played on a little bit longer, maybe it's still somewhat playable, but that was some good damage right there. All right, so here we are. So Valas is in the red, game 3. Fun series. I've really enjoyed this. Hopefully the viewers have as well. Koreans for Valas. He picked Koreans for the mid game and the late game. You do not pick Koreans for any early bonuses. And Valas picks this map because it's easy to wall through the middle and then play defense on top of the hill. So Valas' home map. Overtaken is trying to kill quickly here with the Mongols. I know Mongols do have really insane late game with Mangadai and Siege. But I really think he's just going to try and be as aggressive as possible. He's already pushing in some deer with the hunt bonus. Even this lumber camp, like, I don't even like this lumber camp, dude. What are we placing the lumber camp here for? You always have the wood on the outside. That's a weird decision. I mean, it's fine if it's a normal map, I guess, but, like, this tells me he's rushing it a little bit. And that's what he's tried to do against Valas here today. Valas will drop, bring in that boar. Valas has 4 on wood. Again, with all the way the wood's set up, you kind of do want a lumber camp like that, so that's perfect. And a couple houses. I'm wondering what he expects and if he would expect what's coming from Overtaken. Because Overtaken's plan is to go for the Drush. I wouldn't hate Drush and bringing some vills to the middle. There's still a lot of extra hunt here. I think other civs can't justify standing in the middle. But I think Mongols can probably justify that. Especially once you're almost officially out of hunt here. Peacemark says, since Estonia and Finland are so culturally close, are Overtaken and Valas friends / play each other often? I mean, they might be close in location and culture. I can't really speak to that too much. But they are so far from the same type of player. They're like polar opposites in terms of their play styles. So, like, Valas likes to play a lot of Black Forest. He likes to play a lot of Arena. Overtaken likes to play a lot of Arabia, lots of aggression. So I don't really think that they... I don't think that they really know each other too well, no. I have a pretty good idea of like, who knows who and who's familiar with who. I don't think these guys really talk too much or would play games together. They might run into each other on the ladder, but even then, oh god, what are we doing? Oh my god, dude. It's honestly possible Overtaken doesn't even know the map because the lumber camp and now the militia into the town center, just some big question marks. The town center is always like right beyond the opening. He might just be having an off day, but yeah, that's not what you want. Our base says not. He played Hidden Cup qualifiers. Did he play this map then? You're right, though. He did play in that. It was a long time ago. I think it's just a mistake. A good play from Valas again. Valas has actually gone for a similar build. He's also on 2 militia. And he's able to push in this final deer. And he's able to get Loom just in time. I'll go just passing here and see the scout. I don't think that Valas was expecting the addition militia, but now he knows. Feudal Age time for Overtaken is still really fast. Clausy says, haven't seen how the map plays out, but isn't it too much gold on the outside compared to the inside to make the center / crack terrain spot more relevant and dicey? You'd be surprised how quickly this gold runs out. You are right. There's not a huge need to have this gold. And with the crack terrain, it does make it risky. But this is a map where it can go late imp. And having that middle gold can be really valuable. But no, I agree. It's why Valas picked it, right? Valas isn't a player who's going to take those risks. Valas likes to play more chill. So I wouldn't expect a big rush for a town center in the middle there for Valas. So Overtaken's up. I mean, the militia going down, the lumber camp, those things give me headaches. But that's not a game over type of situation. You're still the Mongols. You still have lots of hunt. You're in feudal age way faster than Valas. And you're getting pressure here. And you kill the villager. This is a great spot to be in. Valas is full walling things on the back. He's bringing in a sheep. He did actually miss out on 2 sheep that Overtaken stole. So that's affecting him right now. Feels like the attack from Overtaken's more than fine here. Take down the mill. Had some farms behind. He's got the archer range already. This is a crazy build. So he had to compensate for this and add an extra militia to his build because of the loss. Just perfect, man. But I'm hesitant now because I saw the other games, right? And so now I'm thinking, what is Valas going to do to bring this one back? As a player, you have to realistically just look at the situation for what it is and not think like that. But I've covered thousands of games, and I know how it goes. So, Valas... On the flip side, though, I think if you're Valas, when things go wrong, you're feeling more comfortable with it because of what happened before. He gets housed right now, so he loses the house. No pop space. So now can't produce a villager for well over 20 seconds. It goes up to 50 seconds again. Archer range and blacksmith comes up. Little early tower from him. Tower foundation could actually be attacked if the palisade goes down, and the tower could go down. So that's kind of a risky spot for Valas. I think he's just about has this calculated, though. I don't think he'll lose a villager there. I don't mind that. Sacrifices the militia, loses the scout, but he does get the tower up. He just wanted some time and space to breathe. Nice pressure from Overtaken. Now, if you're playing this long-term, you want to slowly wall across the middle. The sides can be chopped. Let's not forget about that. I haven't had time to mention it, but it's doable. It's only 50 wood. So you have to wall that and then be very much aware that the opponent could chop through there. Valas is playing in towards skirms. And Overtaken has the res collected lead. It's really mid-castle age with Mongols where I really struggle. So they're really good up until that point, and then oh, there's a villager there. Bro, there's a villager there. He didn't see the villager. She just stood there and blended in with the box. Okay, well, I don't even know if Valas knows the villager's there, to be fair. But yeah, super late game with Mongols is going to be insane. But I think it's with the introduction of Fire Lancer, I think Fire Lancer, Bombard Cannon, heavy rocket cart on a map with a choke point like this can be really tough to stop. She's still standing there. She's like, shh, don't say anything. If I don't move, they don't know I'm here. That's wild, though. Like, is Valas not checking idle villagers? Okay, there we go. Well, calculated, I guess. 2 archers are running around this way for Overtaken. Still lots of micro and focus from Overtaken. He did just finish the berries, though, so I'll have to work primarily on farms now. Still hate this lumber camp with every fiber of my being. But he can always place another one. It's just not enough to break Valas right now. It's just not. Valas has more farms than him. Valas has skirms with the free armor from the Koreans. And Valas is working his way towards some walls here, so he'll be patient and he'll hold. We will see Castle Age in this game. I could pretty much guarantee it. I'm even okay with not having fletching for a while. It would be bad if the scenarios were reversed as the archer player, but if you're the skirm player and you have the armor, that's fine. Valas is kind of like Doubt in that he's obsessed with the market to balance out his res now. And there it is. He's got the perfect spot for it. And Archer... Okay, Archer does end up getting sniped. So that was a little sloppy from Valas. But now that he'll have fletching, now that he's got another archer behind, probably can put an end to this army. And Overtaken has to start thinking about what army he wants to work on in Castle Age. We could see a complete switch. We could see him drop a stable. Think about Knights and Lancers. The other archers are just sitting in the middle. He does have a lot still, so. Over here, this is the scout from Overtaken. The other blue dots on the map is the sheep that I showed earlier that Overtaken stole. I think that's why Valas had such a tough time in early feudal. The man-at-arms didn't do that, but the scout found them. And oof, man, that was some rough micro there from Valas. I think what just happened there is something that happens to me a lot. You're like, oh, I'm on skirms, it's fine. And you think that last man-at-arm won't do too much, but it did. And now he still hasn't clicked up the Castle Age. He will use the market here. But he has to produce more skirms, which can delay the Castle Age. And Overtaken still playing archers. So I think Overtaken wants a big siege push. Which is always on the clock, because if the Koreans could drop 2 well-placed guard towers, then the siege push is no longer possible, right? And look at the micro from Overtaken. That runner on the front was crazy good. But look at the walls from Valas. Valas is now separating this army from any reinforcements. Needs to kill this over the next 90 seconds, and he'll be feeling very good about this. Yeah, Overtaken wants to either run away, or he wants to bring in more, and the skirms are chasing it down. I still love Overtaken's micro. He gets in close, where the skirms have minimum range, just gets as much value as possible from his army, and forcing more and more skirms out of Valas, more than he ever wanted to make. So good. Man, that's why you expect Overtaken to be able to do big things here, but the army count's still kind of small, right? Still kind of a low army count. Archer count's not enough to end the game. He does have a stable. Can Valas defend this? Does Valas realize that there's going to be a siege push? I think if you preemptively place a tower in front of your TC, you're okay here. But he needs to buy the stone for it. You almost always expect a siege workshop in this scenario. But maybe the skirmisher's going to go check. I think if the villager's there, you're expecting it. Here, this skirmisher's still chasing the archers that are still being microed. And yeah, he's not even going to hide it. So I'd buy the stone instantly and drop a tower right in front of my TC right now. That has to be the play from Valas. If you wait... What? You're going to reseed that farm, bro? You're going to reseed that farm? That's crazy. He doesn't know there's a stable. He's not completely walled. Okay, now he knows there's a stable, because that's a new scout. I think there's also a hole here, which he'll wall up. He is on stone back here. And he did kill those other archers, I think. Siege workshop from Valas. Can he defend again? A quick look back at the eco for Overtaken. It's looking better than it was. Again, this could have been the initial lumber line. It is now. That'll be very efficient. Is there a hole here? Oh my god, there's a hole, bro. The Lancers and the Scouts and the Archers can now all come in. And Valas sees there's a hole, and he's going to panic a town center down on this side, which is crazy. But as crazy as it is, I'm going to say a different word. I'm going to say that's risky, right? I think risky's the word to go for there. Man, if it was walled, if that was walled, I think this was maybe okay. But it's panic time for Valas. Overtaken gets through. When you see a hole like that, you know that they're probably not prepared for what's to come. Great quick walls there from Valas. He will get the guard tower up. But yeah, just so difficult to manage things right now. You're losing a lot of farms. Your town center can actually still be denied. The tower doesn't actually protect the town center that much. The crossbows could still come right in again. You can just park your crossbows there and not move them, and you're in an amazing spot here. And now cav archers from Overtaken. Maybe Overtaken will drop a second town center. Maybe there's a monastery that comes up to get some of the relics in the middle. He is wide open for a counterattack, but right now it doesn't seem like there's any possible counterattack for Valas. And once again, it's like slight elevation, a slight decline, and house walling. But everybody knows it. Everybody's aware of it. And in high pressure situations, it still happens. But Valas had so much time. You click behind and you know you've so much time. It's frustrating as a player. It's obviously part of the game. You can just click behind and know if there's a hole, which is essentially what Overtaken ended up doing. It doesn't happen to the very best. Well, actually, that's not true. It happens to everybody. But it doesn't happen as much to the very best. We get really used to people double-checking and people clicking for those things. And then they just don't get surprised. Guard tower is always going to be the key. But the guard tower doesn't actually prevent his town center from going down. I still would have loved the tower on the front. The tower on the front would have still been a good call, even without everything else happening. Is it going to be enough from Overtaken to actually break this guy? Or is Valas able to hold again? No. That hurts. He needed that shot. Valas loses the rocket cart. Still can't complete this town center. Would love to see a second TC for Overtaken, but he's shifting to stone almost like he wants to go for a castle. I think if he was going for the second TC, he might actually just buy the stone. You start to mine stone, this might end up being for a castle. Could be both, though. I don't like this position for those mangonels. Stacked up on top and then right below the hill is kind of risky. But everything else is good. Uh-oh, fire lancers hop out. Hello, hello, hello! Well... Oh, he ends up getting the kill. Damn. And the cav archers can go protect. That was sneaky from Valas. It was a nice try. But the cav archers can probably protect the siege, assuming they fire. Well, nope. They attack the archer range instead. And the fire lancer's going crazy. Fire lancer's going to win the game. Fire lancer for the win. Fire lancer comeback. Fire lancer for the win. Fire lancer's dead. Okay. Lots of micro happening over here. Economy being sorted. Eco upgrades coming in for Overtaken. That was good value from Valas, but this is still a miserable experience for him. Vil count's still even, though. But again, he's under so much pressure. He does defend there. Maybe he completes the town center now. The starting town center could still easily go down. Will we ever see a second town center from Overtaken, or is it just still all-in 1 TC aggression? Feels like he wants to go imp right now. Like his plan is forward castle, fast imp, and trebs. I don't know. Like, it's 2 town centers for Valas. There is a chance here. He is Koreans. He can drop more towers. He can make this super cheap, annoying to deal with fire lancers. How does Valas hold from this, man? How? And he's got the hill. And he lands a big shot, and he needs to stonewall this. One stone wall, and Overtaken can never pressure this. Which brings you back to the Civ choices. Overtaken wants to kill quickly. Valas just wants to survive. And if it becomes a defensive game, he feels very comfortable. I'm so impressed with Valas today. I did not... If you would have told me that Overtaken could play like he did today, I would not have predicted a Valas 3-0 or 2-1. I would have said 2-1 Overtaken. I've always been a big Overtaken believer. And the last couple times I've seen Valas play, he hasn't been this sharp. And there's some question on some players in gold especially, and silver. How sharp are they going to be? It's been a year since the previous season. Are they going to be what they were last year? This is some of the best Age of Empires I've seen from Valas in a very long time. But, you know, still, Overtaken's ahead. He's ahead with military control. He's ahead with resources collected. He's got 2 town centers. He could maybe go for the 3rd now. So he is going for the late game approach, which I don't mind. He's got lots of res. He'll go for the relics. I do want to see a chop here, because things are starting to stabilize now. I'm seeing outposts from Valas, but I'd like to see a lumber camp here. You can chop through those trees and be through. Imagine if Valas does that and he sends a couple of fire lancers. You don't expect to get attacked on the sides at all. Crazy game. Crazy series. And wheelbarrows on the way. And scale mail armor. All right, I'm going to mention it again, because I feel like the YouTube guy needs to know we talked about it in between the games. I brought up that there's this guy on the extras channel who has been counting how many times I say crazy. That's the only thing he'll say. I'm sure he appreciates the content and all that, but he never says that. He just says T90 crazy count and leaves a comment. I told chat, and I regret it because now... Ooh, big shots. I regret it because now everyone else is paying attention to it, but... yeah. That shout out to the crazy guy, I guess? You're crazy. 2 town centers for Valas. Big shot landed. He did just lose some rocket carts, though, as he's about to build a castle. Uh-oh, there's another one, though. See, I would hop out and immediately try and fire here. He's being patient again. There he goes. And I think he can hold this. Yeah, I think he can hold this. It looks like it's a problem, but it's actually no problem for Valas, because he's a god. And, ooh, wait a second. Fire Lancer didn't kill that. And castle is delayed. Also, there's a 6 HP Lancer here, which is being attacked by the skirmisher now. And, okay, now that that's not there, now I think the castle can go up. Beautiful Vil count for Overtaken, though. Now would be the time to go up to the Imperial Age. We have the old emote. We have Stonks, which we use from time to time. We added the up and the down emote for promotion relegation. Not necessarily for castles going up and down. We thought about, you know, the T90 down emote just being like a doubt castle that, you know, was crumbling to the ground or something, but it's hard to convey in an emote. But yeah, we've got him, just FYI, and yeah, he's up. I feel like it would be really, 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 really bad and almost feel unfair if Overtaken didn't get something from this. You know? Just like one win. Sure, he loses 2-1. He gets money, and he is better off in the standings. But that's not how it works. You have to win. So, I mean, it doesn't matter how close the games were. You got to get the job done. This is maybe his best chance to in the entire series. Valas is struggling for gold saturation. He doesn't have a lot on gold, which he will fix, of course. But that's not necessarily good. He's behind in villagers, and Overtaken is about to reach the Imperial Age. If only Overtaken could get a castle up here. Imagine a castle in the middle in trebuchets. If it takes him 2 to 3 minutes to get to that castle, by then, Valas will already be an imp. So that really needs to happen soon. Here come the villagers. No real action on the sides. Clearly, Valas is paying attention to the fact that you can go through there, but Overtaken doesn't seem to care. And there's the, there's the castle we're looking for. So it's a defensive castle from Overtaken, but there's siege in the middle, so that's perfectly normal. And actually, is Valas about to drop his own? If Valas drops a castle here, it's horrible for him because it will immediately be trebbed. I was going to drop a tower instead. Okay. Overtaken wants another castle. I actually love that castle. But you might want to wait a little bit. Wait till your army's upgraded. It's risky. He wants to protect his trebuchet. He's going after the rocket carts. The castle's being built behind all of this. It's still probably fine. Oh, God. Is that fine? Well, I guess at the end of the day, you're going to take out all the siege anyways. You might take the war wagons. You might take the tower. You might take the villas. That's still worth it. And now you can put your trebuchet under this castle and immediately treb this. Even taking down the guard tower that quickly was nice. That would have wasted a lot of time. I could tell Overtaken's getting a little shaky in these moments. Like, he queued up a petard there, for example. I don't know how you misclick a petard. But his eco count's still good. He's still ahead, and he's got the trebuchets. But you need the trebuchets to be sitting on top of the hill. You can't be below the hill. Yeah, you need to be there. And that's what makes this position really strong. So that can be tough, because trebs are clunky. You really have to babysit them a little, but that should be nice. Curious to see how Valas plays this now. He built the siege workshops here, so I think he wants chemistry and bombard cannon. But he doesn't actually have chemistry yet. He hasn't clicked it. And the siege workshops are actually underneath the trebs, which is not good. That's not what you want. Has he done the math? Can he range those trebs with the rocket cart? Oh, boy. Yeah, he actually can sit outside of the castle range and range those trebuchets a little bit. That definitely makes Overtaken think twice about this. But he's taking down the siege workshops. And he still has dished out some decent damage against the castle. I think with the cav archers, you can always take the rocket cart, so he's fine. I think. I don't know, though. Still, the random houses there from Overtaken are going to be nice. It'll block farm space, and it'll also give you vision on what the opponent is doing and where. But castle will be down. Valas still holding on. He never got chemistry, right? He's like me. He's completely skipped university. Well, not exactly. I don't know what the Age of Empires 2 equivalent of dropping out of university would be, but I don't think he researched chemistry. Which means he's waiting for bomber cannons, and he can't do it. Oh, he's going heavy rocket cart. Interesting. Well, I mean, that might have been his plan all along. He needs something extreme because this is getting bad. And maybe that would be it, but another castle from Overtaken. Overtaken still at enough stone for 2 more castles. The trebuchets are taking down the keeps faster than the keeps can be built. Would like to see a bit more farming eco now for Overtaken, but he's already doing that. And he's dropping stables to add some lancers maybe to snipe any of the siege. Overtaken's played amazing today. He really has. And game number 1 could have been his. Game number 2 felt like maybe he tilted a little bit. Because Valas turned that around with his sneak archers, but yeah, there should be no way Overtaken loses this game. Heavy rocket cart's just not... It's not a common play right now at a high level. Especially if Overtaken doesn't have experience against it. He might not even realize they're heavy. I feel like there's not that big of a visual change from the normal to the heavy version. They don't look that heavier, you know? But they are stronger. It's also part of what makes that upgrade good, I think, is that it's very cheap compared to like getting the Siege Onager or something. The Siege Onager is still a better unit. Yeah, so this is where you need the cav switch. Yeah, there go the rockets. Is Overtaken just... Overtaken's like, screw your rockets. I'm just going to micro them down with skirms. Dude, what micro is that? If that's quite a few players, they just back up for a second. He's like, nope, actually, I'm good. I've got enough. Again, he's crazy fast. There's the stables now. There's the farming eco. Lancer switch should be good. Now, if it's Fire Lancer for Valas and Rocket Cart, I don't actually know what Mongols do against that, except their own onagers. So I do think there's still there's a world where the composition for Valas could be what wins in the game, but the eco and the position is so rough. I mean, he can't properly add eco right now. It's actually easier for him to spam Fire Lancers than Pikes. So Pikes is a surprise. He doesn't have a lot of food. Yeah, I guess it's true. You do have 3 castles. Could be like 6 castles with Mongols. So against Siege and Lancer, you would just go Magadai there. And the Magadai are actually in queue. So it's weird when you forget about Magadai with Mongols, huh? I guess that's my problem, but yeah, it's a great unit to have. Bonus against Siege. And with the player microing as good as Overtaken, it should be pretty fun to watch. Valas was super dead. Super dead, it felt like, at various points in this series. And he held on to bring it back. So he's trying his best. But Overtaken will get the raids into the back now, which is right where the farming eco is going to be. He's still massing Magadai on the front. His trebs have still been dishing out damage to everything here. Kills the villagers there, too. This has never felt comfortable for Valas. All because of that hole. I think without the hole, it was a good spot where he could have defended. But these raids are going to start to add up. And as the rocket carts move forward, there are some Magadai waiting. Not elite. So without being Elite Mangudai, they're not the strongest, but Elite should be able to come in. And I think Elite is probably in queue right now, behind some Mangudai. And there it is. But 2-1 is a pretty fair scoreline for this series. Feels like game 1 could have gone either way. And then game 2 and game 3, they split a little. With one player having a fairly dominant victory. Big shot with the rocket carts initially, but there's just so much army coming from Overtaken. And down go the rocket carts. The Trebs are still here, most of them anyways. Another castle now. Stone walls here from Overtaken, so there's never a chop through. He's feasting on all the gold as well, right? He still has gold at his base. So yeah, around the 50-minute mark is where you would probably really start to run out of gold on this map, which is a pretty long time. But it does matter. Early imp, it's huge. But what I like about it is because there is a risk of taking the middle as well, because it's cracked terrain, which means your buildings get shredded faster, and you're obviously at the bottom of a hill. Now, if this was a hill instead, it completely changed the map, right? We'd see a lot more 1TC pushes, a lot more fast imps. Valas still kicking here, man. He's a fighter. I love the energy, though. I really do. I really want to see the next Valas series now. This is a fun one. And Overtaken, too. Overtaken lost 3-0 to Valeza, but I think Valeza is also in excellent form, so maybe the heavy winter has the Finns back in good shape because there's not as many other things for them to do. Maybe they've got some breaks from their work or their studies, whatever they're up to in life. One can only speculate. But yeah, Overtaken, like, played really well in that series he got swept in. He's played well here. We'll still be in a bad spot. We'll only have one win after 2 rounds, but there's plenty to play here. Drill, let's go. Oh, come on. Go. Don't go for Rams. Go for Siege Onager Overtaken. Clearly, Valas doesn't want to call it. Valas is filling every single free area with a farm over here. Still can't take any of this stone or any of this gold over here. But yeah, choo-choo. Get the ram spam going, chat. It's a little lame because we just got 1 ram, but there we go. That's how you counter him. Look at that. Boom. Oh, wait. Boom. Let's go. Only with drill. Love that upgrade. 50% additional speed, and now Siege Ram's on the way as well. That's sick. Overtaken's economy could not be any better. Actually, nope, that's wrong. There's a 3rd relic. He really should have that. But once he gets that, everything's good. Maybe he's even getting it right now with one of his monks. More rams going through. More people disturbed in my chat at what that emote looks like. Sorry, guys. That's kind of part of the experience here. But yeah, fun set, man. Really fun set. I forget if we have more. Why is Valas still playing? I mean, his opponent hasn't broken him, and he's come back in 2 games, in theory. So, like I said, I like the energy. I don't have anywhere to be. I'm just casting more Age of Empires. I respect the fact that he still thinks, you know what? There's a chance. If I can get to Halb, if I can get to Heavy Rocket Cart, maybe I could beat this. Eventually comes to the conclusion, not enough. And yeah, so series goes 2-1. Yeah, really happy with the series. Like I said, I think both players showed their strengths. Overtaken, we saw the aggression. Valas, we saw the defense. Unfortunately for Valas, that hole in that house wall ended up being the straw that broke the camel's back there. I think if he didn't have that hole, it's still kind of a tough game, but way easier for him to stabilize. And this game never felt like it was going imp after the hole. Imagine if it didn't happen, how long this game could have gone. But beautiful job from Overtaken. They say you make your own luck. His man-at-arm pressure was sick. He was up super quick. He was in Feudal Age before 9 minutes with man-at-arms after he drushed as well, which is not easy to do. And then beat him to Castle and beat him to Imp. And clearly he's just such an aggressive player. Crazy APM. One of the fastest players in all of Titans League. and always super fun to watch in Titans League as well. He's always been historically very unlucky in his TTL runs in the past. I think only in TTL Golds, but if he was ever in Plat, I'm misremembering now, he was always in the conversation between 4th and 5th place. So, it might be the same thing here.